Hi, I'm James Shillinglaw. I'm here today at the Weekapaug Inn in Rhode Island, and this is an incredible property, really laid back. Stayed one night last night, and I had food served and made by this gentleman, Andrew Brooks. And he is an amazing chef here and really dedicated to sustainable practices and sourcing food from local areas. And we're going to talk to Andrew about his cuisine philosophy here and what you can find when you come and dine at Weekapaug Inn. And I'm James Shillinglaw, and this is Insider Travel Report. Andrew, first of all, I had a marvelous meal last night. It was I just started asking about what some of the stuff was. But first of all, tell me a little bit about your background. How long have you been a chef here?
So I've been here just over a year now.
Okay.
I started in the industry as a dishwasher. I grew up in Montpelier, Vermont. Washed dishes through high school. Started making pizzas, working the grill, and then I went and attended Johnson Wales University in Providence.
Just up the road, right?
Just up the road. In 2016, I moved down to Amelia Island, Florida, and I spent time with the Omni Amelia Island.
I've been there. I've actually been to that one.
You have?
A few years ago. Yeah.
I might have been there. I was there for about 3 years, and then I moved over to the Ritz-Carlton, where I spent almost 2 before moving back home to New England. So
here's home now. You're not too far from Vermont, right?
No, not at all. Yeah. Very, very happy to be back.
Now, how would you describe the cuisine you prepare here?
I like to focus on farm-to-table cuisine. I want us to be a premier East Coast destination for farm-to-table. We're a property where coastal New England has so much to offer. So by our commitment to the local fishermen and farmers, we're able to really tell a story about this area, and you can taste nature when you come here. Right. And that's our goal. We want you to taste the seasons as they change, and I'm just very inspired by the art behind it all. So.
Yeah, and it is great. And local, the whole trend in cuisine for the past few years has been farm to table. I love the phrase, but I'll be honest with you, if I see one more farm to table thing in the menu, I'm going to scream, because that's what it should be, right?
I couldn't agree more. And I think that with the inn just being 33 rooms and the size really allows us to truly deliver that farm to table experience. It's very tough for some restaurants to execute that properly, because you can say farm to table, but once you hit a certain volume, how can the farm sustain your quantity needed, right? But here we're really able to rely on the farmers and fishermen to stay local because of our business demands. We can execute it properly.
Yeah. Now, you also work on giving sort of options for people with vegan and vegetarian, I guess. In fact, I mentioned a soup that we had last night, which was awesome. It was an amazing soup. And you went in describing, because I asked, what's this? And he said, oh, yeah, by the way, it's vegan. And we have that on the menu now, too.
I have a passion for vegetarian and vegetable cooking, right? I want there to be enough options on the menu for vegans and vegetarians where you don't have to ask the server, because that becomes a bad experience, right? You sit there, is there something that I can have? Yeah. When you sit down at the Weekapaug Inn, as a vegetarian and a vegan, there are options available where you can have salads and appetizers, entrees. We have vegan desserts. We keep everything as an option, because it should be, right? It's such a common request that we get, and we want to make sure to highlight that local produce. And for us, being such a vegetable and produce driven operation, doing things vegetarian and vegan comes easy.
Yeah. Now, and the other thing for the main course, we had the halibut, which I assume was locally caught.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And that was amazing too. But I suddenly found myself eating this squash soup and this other farmhouse salad, and I think those were both great either vegetarian or vegan options to start, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. We always have the one staple we have on our menu is called the farm vegetable plate.
That's the one I had. Yeah.
So throughout the season, it just ever changes. If you have the farm vegetable plate day after day, it won't be plated the same. It won't consist of the same thing, because we've trained the team to, when a farm vegetable plate runs in your station, what do you have? What's the most local, fresh produce? And then we deliver it in different ways through purees and pickles and roasts and butter glazed, and just we plate it all in all these different and unique creative ways, and it's just a surprise and delight situation for the guests.
No, and it's great. It really is wonderful. And also, you changed the menu up a fair amount. I think we were told last night, this is a fairly new menu from the summer menu. Now we're into the fall menu, and I don't know how often you do it.
We consistently change the menu based off the produce available. So rather than writing a menu and then sourcing the ingredients, we keep a rolling list of what's local. So twice a week I can look on Farm Fresh Rhode Island and I can see all the produce available from local farmers in Rhode Island, Eastern Connecticut, Massachusetts, even Long Island. And Farm Fresh Rhode Island is the hub that will deliver those to us.
So basically they go out and get it all for you, so that's a great way to do it. And I have to tell you, there's another thing that I found interesting. We're going to talk to your wine expert here too, but we had a local white wine from Stonington, Connecticut, and it was pretty good. I got to be honest with you. I was very surprised.
Yeah, we have a few. We have Newport Vineyards out in Newport's fantastic. We have Jonathan Edwards, which makes great wine. We're lucky to have some nice winemakers around.
Yeah, so I had that, and then we had oysters, which I assume we said, are they local? He said, well, they just got down the road, out that way, right?
We're lucky enough to be able to have a pond filled with incredible shellfish, mussels, clams, oysters, all come right from the pond.
That's great. No, well, it was a fantastic meal. Had a quick breakfast this morning. Unfortunately, we have to leave and go to your larger sister, Ocean House, next. But you're doing a great job here. Now, any plans for the future? What do you think you're going to try to do with this cuisine in the future, or just really keep on expanding on this sustainable fashion, farm to table?
We just want to keep expanding on our sustainability in the farm to table, right? So we have a beautiful garden this year that we utilized, and I know...
I forgot about the garden. We saw the garden. Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, we're really excited. Chef Olivia and I spend a lot of time out there. We do all the harvesting, the trimming, the gardening, watering, everything ourselves. So we're really excited with how that came out, and we want to continue to expand that. As well as our composting program, we go through 16 35-gallon bins of compost a week.
My God, that's incredible. But that's where you're using it all to grow stuff. It's great.
So our compost goes to Earth Care Farms, which is Rhode Island's oldest and largest operating compost farm. It's right down the road in Charleston. And then we bought Earth Care Farms compost to put into our garden. So we were able to teach the team about these farming practices and really instill that culture in everybody who's here, from not just the culinary team, but the entire property is dedicated to this cause and to what we're trying to do. So it's a really nice learning experience for everyone, and it's wonderful to have a team that's so dedicated to composting and to try to be that zero food waste property there.
So I guess the latest trend, I've seen is to try to eliminate this food waste. We talk about sustainable, we talked about farm to table, but the next thing is eliminate food waste. I try to eliminate food waste by eating everything on my plate. That's not sometimes the best strategy because I can't always do that. But that's your approach. How do you do that with food waste here?
So we're lucky enough that it's a full compost farm at Earth Care. So we can give oyster shells, lobster shells, fish bones, meat, anything can go into the compost bin there. And for us, it gives us a way to send it out, and then it gives back to the farmers because it's the largest compost farm in the state. So think about how many farms throughout the area are using that compost, and to be able to contribute to making the soil that grows the food that we then serve.
Yeah, that's right. It's the cycle.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Well, Chef Andrew, it was a marvelous meal last night. Have to come back one of these days on your next menu and see what you're doing. And congratulations. I know you've only been here a year, but you're back sort of close to home, and it's great that you can. Well, I mean, there's nothing wrong with this place, I tell you. Maybe a little in the winter, but we'll see. But this is you're open all year long, right? So the restaurant is here, so you can come by and try the restaurant, stay at the inn, and it really is such a marvelous experience here. But again, thank you so much for your cuisine last night, and great to see you.
You as well. Thank you very much.
I'm James Shillinglaw, and this is Insider Travel Report.